am Alexey Titarenko from New York, United States. And we're here by my works in a framework of the exhibition City of Shadows. So City of Shadows exhibition, it shows my work from 1991 till approximately the end of the 90s. The images were taken by myself, first one in 91. And the idea why I should create this problem and how to create this problem was born a little bit before. So to explain it exactly, I have to refer to my previous project, which is Nomenclature of Sign. And I started it during the Soviet Union time in the 80s, approximately around the mid-80s, let's say 83, 84, 85, and so on. So when Soviet Union started to collapse, which started to be visible, let's say this way, at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, I was still working on this project, Nomenclature of Signs. This series was dedicated to how the communist regime was converting citizens into the mere signs. And the same with everything else, with the life itself. Life itself was converted into the sign. Food was converted into the signs. There was no food in the supermarket or medication in the pharmacy. That was beautiful display windows with the maquettes of the food or photographs of medication that actually was not on the shelves. But by the time these things are becoming really difficult, it was already 1991, after the putsch, which happened, military putsch that happened in August 1991. The quality of life started to degrade much more quickly than it was before. The food totally disappeared from the supermarkets, also medication, etc., etc. The city council decided to introduce stamps, food stamps, tickets. So in order to buy something, you need to have a ticket. And for example, you had a right for 500 grams of butter during 1 month, which was not a big amount, etc., etc., etc. Also, the public transportation collapsed, and everything that depends from the state, and in Soviet Union, everything was depending from the state, like orphanages and nursing homes, etc., etc. People was really started to look like shadows. And this especially shocked me, this impression, when I, by chance, passing by the biggest subway station on Vasilievsky Island, where my mother was living, and I was visiting her. Vasilievsky Island, it's the heart of the city. It was created there. There was thousands of factories, small and big shipyards. And every evening, about 500,000 people was trying to get home to suburbs, because this is 19th century area, not a lot of affordable housing. Because of the shortage of the electricity and fuel, public transportation was not working. Only the subway was a reliable way to home. And I was passing by the subway station on Vasilievsky Island, and I saw this enormous crowd of people trying to get in. It was like a mountains river, importing everything with the water. People was taken in by this crowd, like water if you get in and the stream is strong. People was losing piece of clothes and shoes that you may see on that photograph. It was an image from the hell. And because the clothes were mostly dark, so, and the faces was dark because people was malnourished, and the city is near polar circle. This impression of city shadows came to my mind. I decided to use this metaphor as a base to create a new project. How to do it? Of course, I knew history of photography, and I'm fluent in French. Actually, my sister is French. I was reading a lot of books about French photography when I was young. Was reading the famous speech of Arago, the president of French Academy of Science in 1839. And I saw a lot of images with long exposure, and doing myself a lot of images with long exposure when I was a kid. I like fireworks, and in order to take fireworks, photograph of fireworks, I had to put my camera on the tripod and open the shooter, and fireworks were beautiful. But that was in the 70s. So I knew what long exposure it looks like, and I told myself, this is how I shall do it. This is how I should proceed. That idea came to my mind at home, and I didn't return back to this area of the subway station. It was just general idea. I stopped working on nomenclature of science, and in a couple of weeks, I had to go to see my mom again. I had my camera with me. And returning, I was passing during rush hour by this same subway station because I was going home walking by foot. And the crowd became even much more bigger. And again, it was like a pictures from the hell. This time, I just like guided by something, I was just automatically came to the entrance, disregard all the danger that I was facing, just put camera on the tripod and open the shooter. And because this was not the usual camera Leica type when you have to keep it close to your eyes to take pictures, camera on the tripod is very low, and people didn't pay attention to it the first minutes. That's why I was able to take this first image that is exhibited in the hallway there. Once the image was done, I was pushed by people who was running to get in. I decided to go home. Once at home, I developed it, and I saw exactly what was my imaginary impression as if it was not a documentary image, but actually an artwork and an expression, visualization of my internal feelings. That's how City of Shadows was born. In order to understand what this piece or anything means for humans, extraterrestrial have to be human, because we see what we know and we don't see what we don't know. So if extraterrestrial don't know what the harmony is like and never listen to the symphony, any symphony at all, classical one, this extraterrestrial didn't get the meaning, didn't get the message, etc., so on, so on, so on. In my opinion, the best way to communicate with extraterrestrial is just to understand that we are the part of this world. So for my point of view, we are also extraterrestrial. And in order to communicate with them, we just first communicate well here. And then maybe there is no need to send the message. Maybe they observe us, and they will find out how to learn from us. But I don't want to use any cliche, because there is a lot of cliche that is used for this kind of project. I mean, to put in the capsule and send to the space. But in my opinion, what characterizes humans first is love. Without love, we are not humans. So anything you put in, it has to be connected to the human love. And art is love too. It's kind of expression of human love. It can be love for woman or for building or for just people of the country where this or that person is living. So for me, it has to be show us as someone, she or he, who is able to love the other person. And that would be the best, not only information, but also a gift for the other civilizations. Alexey Titarenko, and I am at PhEST 2025. Thank you.